You're listening to the Faith and Friction Podcast with your hosts, Mac and the Rev. Welcome to the conversation.
All right. Once again, here we are, across the table together, Rev. How you doing,
Looking
man?
you in the eyes, feeling your heart, and I'm ready to go, wherever we happen to go today.
Well, it's another strap in, right? We're going to pick up from where we started the year last week.
Yep.
On this whole theme of going to the other side. That's an exciting thing, but it is a shaking them up kind of
I think it does shake you up because you go to the other side or you go to the next ridge, there's another edge. There's another step, another movement.
Yes, it's a constant evolution. We're going to talk about that word on this episode a lot, and especially when people try to apply that word to themselves, their faith.
Road start there.
Yeah, their faith, their religion,
Well,
their
wait a minute.
theology.
You're meddling now. Evolution of my faith.
Oh, so that's going to be part of the deal because it's really important, and this is part of the mission that we're on to try to give aha moments to that concept because that's where we were talking about this in the pre-show, right?
Yeah.
That's where growth happens.
And it's important to recognize the intention. The podcast is not intended just to stir shit. It is absolutely wanting more for the human race, as we want more for ourselves, for each other, for our circles, our families. We want more for everybody. And this podcast is designed to take you to the edge because we believe there's more light, more love, more God, whatever you want to call it, available to us, and we're missing it because we're comfortable in our stagnation.
That's this sort of the theme of this episode is friction in the complacency. That a lot of times the art of the start doesn't happen, and we won't even create any friction because we're complacent.
It's firing, but we're not paying attention to it, and that's that we could get burned from the inside out, perhaps.
Yeah, we talked about that too, didn't we? So anyway, these are important things that we're casting a vision for this, but you have to have that holy discontent in order to embrace a lot of the theological side of it. And I shouldn't even say the theological side. There needs to be a discontent. There needs to be this ain't working no more. Right?
And is it the universe itself? Is it, again, I use the word God, put whatever word you want there. Is it life shaking and rattling our cages? We're complaining that things are getting unruly or there's that discontent. And actually, it's the universe that's causing that. Because it's like, there's more of you. There's more of me. There's more of us to experience.
Yeah. Evolve.
Please.
You had it then, and okay, that was good for then. But it's time to evolve because, as you say, there's more. And there's more to experience. And to me, it's even more than just, obviously, the physical experience. So there's more. We don't even realize what more. We talk about setting an intention and then at the end of it, put what or better.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with plateaus.
Right.
Plateaus are good. They're a moment of rest. Sabbath is built into most spiritual paths. Take a moment to go, this is good. I'm enjoying this right now. But don't put up a tent and camp out there because there is always more. The Islamic tradition has that phrase, God is always more. As good as it is, it can be greater. As good as your life is, it can be better. As much good as you've brought to the planet, there's more good that you can bring to the planet. Don't put a tent up for too long at the plateau because there's way more mountain to climb.
I'm good. We're trying to dispel and the I'm good place for the most part.
I'm good enough. Yeah. That's what happens.
So here we are. We're going to jump right into it in this episode. We're going to embrace ideas about an evolved, quote, Christianity is where we started with that last week. But even if you're somebody of a different faith, how is that evolving on you? How about if you're somebody that really is non-churched? You're
still on a path to becoming. You're still growing yourself.
So let's not exclude anybody that just because they don't, quote, ascribe to a particular faith, go to church, all of that. They still have faith and they still have the ability, as you were saying, to do more and to be more.
There's Michelangelo who said, I think it was at age 83 or 84, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. This brilliant mind was still, up until he left the planet, still learning. Yeah. I think that's part of why we're on Earth.
Well, yes. Again, that's an evolution of thought. We do it all the time. And we talked about this in the pre-show. Most of us don't apply the word evolve to our faith, right? We talked about that. And a lot of times in Christianity, especially as I grew up in Christianity and went through, we never really looked at it like it was grasp what already is and get a better understanding of how to interpret that Bible passage or that theology or that way we do it. But it wasn't, let's think outside the box about how it could be even more or different.
I love when I go back to a book that I read 15, 20 years ago, and I've highlighted certain things. And I look at it again with new eyes and go, why did I highlight that? Because this right here that I didn't even look at is so much more juicy.
Right.
Now, that gets dangerous. So do it with a book, that's fine, but don't do it with the Bible. Every time I read the Gospels.
That's a book.
Yeah, it's several books. And every time I read those books, I get more from it.
Yeah.
But I have to have an open mind.
Right.
If I just accept what I was told that means, I never get the deeper meaning.
Yes.
And I think it's a multidimensional book, multidimensional reading. You can take one scripture and divest it into 10 different compartments and go, oh my gosh, it's so rich. There's a treasure here I didn't even see the first, second, or third reading.
Where it becomes dangerous, the fear factor sets in that is when I start to look at something and think of something from the Bible that's different than my pastor, my priest, the person that you have counted on to that point to have all the answers. That, okay, just tell me what it means. Thank you. Okay. I don't want to make a mistake. If you've been there.
In my congregation, I know that my job is not to tell people what to think. My job is to invite them to think. And I don't have a market on the truth. Certainly, we're all in trouble if we think that. But it's worth thinking and looking together with new eyes and the collective eyes to say, this might mean something different to you than it means to me. How dare I narrow your vision of what's possible in that reading?
Amen, man. That's all I can say to that statement because it's so true. And another thing to understand is Christianity has evolved since day one.
Yeah.
If you read church history, a lot of people have never read church history. They read the Bible, all right? But that's one little microcosm of a period of time, if you believe that it was written within the first 100 years.
Sure.
That's a whole nother discussion. Point being that it's evolved since Jesus' time. There have been countless arguments, perspectives, even to this day. If you say Christianity, what does that mean? It's such a broad thing that nobody can claim that their Christianity, their dogma, in their denomination,
They do.
Well,
they do claim I have
guess they do.
30,000 different sects of Christianity, and they all think they have the corner on the market of truth.
Right.
But I'm really grateful for the mavericks and the rebels who said that there's a different idea here. I think maybe we don't have that corner on the market of truth. They nail something on the door that says, wait a minute, there's other ideas here.
Right.
And that's what it takes. It takes people willing to challenge the status quo, including religion, in order for religion to evolve. Some of them gave their life for it.
Yes, because it was that important. And we were talking about this again earlier. We love on this podcast, in this episode in particular, we're going to give you what you don't really need, but we're going to do it anyway because you haven't seen that yet. We're giving you permission. We're giving you permission through some things that we might want to share with you on this episode to go to the other side, to be willing to take that step. Now, hopefully over time, you're going to come to realize you don't need anybody's permission, that you can manage it.
In essence, that's what I talked about recently.
Yeah.
A lot of us are asking the question in a spiritual context, am I allowed?
Yeah.
Am I allowed? That is the killer for evolution. The question we need to be asking is, am I aligned?
Yeah.
Am I aligned with the God of my very essence and being? I'm created in the image and after the likeness of that. But we don't listen to that because I have to get permission from somebody. So yeah, we're going to give you permission, but the reality, your soul is giving you permission. Right. God doing business at the center of your soul is giving you permission to stretch.
You've already got the permission. Okay, it's there. But human...
If you need someone to blame, you can blame us.
That will be the first time. All right, let me tell you. So I want to start with the art of the start, because there has to be an impetus somewhere along the line for any change to happen. And then once you even have the impetus, you got to go, okay, what's my next step? What do I need to do? And you did a beautiful job with this a few weeks ago. So I want to reiterate a few of these points, but you used this poem, She Let Go by Sapphire Rose.
Yeah.
And it was, I didn't realize at the time it was a poem, but I'm gonna snipe out of this thing. I'm gonna snip.
It's a beauty.
You did a great job with that, but I wanted to let the listeners maybe I can give you a little bit of encouragement and say, just let it go. All right? Just let it go. You don't need a thought or a word, no judgments. You don't need a whole bunch of other opinions. You don't need a list of the right reasons. Mm-hmm. You don't need to read the Bible. You don't need to go to a seminar. You don't need to have a checklist. You don't need to check with your friends. That would say, it's all this stuff that we think makes for good decisions. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I need to do my due diligence. Okay, I need to talk to this person. Let me go look for a Bible verse. And I'm not saying all that stuff's bunk, but
it's important. But if I remember using this as an analogy, when I was making the decision within me to support my family as a musician, mm-hmm. when this lines up, then I will do it.
Yeah.
And then when this happens, and guess what? This never happens. And so that call never gets answered because I'm waiting for the perfect circumstances.
Yes.
The circumstances must be within. That's the alignment I'm talking about.
Correct.
You cannot go around looking for your army of people to support you. That way you feel okay when it doesn't work out exactly mm-hmm. the right way.
Right.
And I finally just jumped. I had to leap and go, I'm going to be a musician. And I know there's going to be good times and there's not going to be good times. But the universe responded to me.
Yeah.
Things lined up. And I got opportunities that I actually ended up supporting my family as a musician, which is unheard of in the music world.
But again, you had to start through that and you had to be willing to stay. I'm not listening to all of them. Yeah. It's them. It's the they that really a lot of times can get in the way. Again, I just love some of this thing. She didn't do a 5-step spiritual mind treatment. She didn't call a prayer line. And you know what else I loved about this poem, that one of the ones on here that struck me? It was, I don't need to raise my hand. I don't need to stand up and go, okay, everybody, this is what I'm doing. Just so I'm announcing.
Changing my life now. Just do it.
Just quietly, just get on about the business. Mm-hmm. Just take joy in knowing that you are doing what you need to do. So again, we're giving you permission to not have to go through all that due diligence that we want to so carefully. And you know what? You don't necessarily need to apply this to your faith. How about at work? Now, I don't know how much freedom you're given at work, but the point being is that we want to overanalyze everything and think that we've just literally got to dot every T and dot every I and cross every T.
Paralysis analysis. It's like nothing ever gets done, nothing ever changes, but we're thinking about it. So, we're going to kill. I've seen more ideas killed in committee.
What's the animal? Is it vultures? Vultures, a group of vultures is called a committee, I think.
Oh, really?
It's one of those kinds of praying. I think it's vultures, but...
Wow, that's an interesting analogy. Yeah. If we are in a committee, we're feasting on dead meat. You might want to get some fresh meat in there.
You're like, okay, that's pretty poignant, all right? There's some hidden meaning there. But understand that Christianity in particular has evolved. And one of the major ones you can think of that most people know about is the Reformation with Martin Luther. But put that in its proper perspective. That was a change in theology. Yep. It was a change in doctrine, right?
It was a change in understanding and a change in relationship.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the evolution of the Christian church is leaning, I think, or going back home to a more mystical understanding. Mm-hmm. There's this arc that is you can examine. Man. It's like, wait a minute, I don't need a go-between. I don't need a priest between me and God. Mm-hmm. I can have the direct experience. That's mystical energy right there. And I believe that that's just one example. Yeah. There are several, and I believe Christianity is leaning that direction today.
I was in a conversation with a guy that I know, and we were talking about Jesus, and we were talking about the faith, and we were talking about evolution, and I had to finally declare, because this got pushed back on, Jesus was all about mystical consciousness. Mm-hmm. The guy, from day one, Right? This is who he was. And he was trying to impart this to us to say, you can be a conscious raising mystic. Hey?
And he met people where they are.
Yeah,
he had to
sure.
use language, very human, allegory, story,
Right.
in order to get there. But if you dig and read those stories deeper, it was absolutely a mystic who was
Yeah.
teaching really deep concepts at a surface level, expecting us to do the work. And Christianity that does the work gets to that place. Christianity that accepts the blind interpretation of what you were told that story means. I'm good on the plateau. I'm putting up a
leapt up
tent.
short. Yeah.
But there's way more depth to this man's heart, his spirit, his demonstration, and his teaching.
Well, yes, go be. I love that, Rev. Go beyond the story for whatever that story might have been, and to say, okay, that's the story. I can relate to that because it's cultural. It's all this other kind of stuff. But now, as I raise my consciousness, I'm going to peel that onion back, and now I'm going to the other side of
And
that.
I believe that was his expectation.
Okay, yes.
He spoke
That's what I
to
heard
a
you say.
culture.
Yeah.
He spoke to a group of people at the time, but we have evolved mentally, emotionally, spiritually. He was speaking to the people of today. Take it
Right.
further. Dig it deeper. Get a bigger shovel.
Yep.
I often say Gospels are being written today. And I know that for some
I
people
love that,
on
man.
the
You said that. I
plateau,
love that.
that's blasphemy.
Yeah.
But Gospels are being written. They're being spoken today. And the mouths of children that are saying things, it's like, where did that come from? Unbelievable. I want to work that into a sermon because
Yeah.
it is truth. It is good news being spoken.
Is good news finite?
In some circles it is.
Sometimes we think that it is, and it's not. There's an ever expanding idea of good news because, like you said, our spirit prompts us to those higher and higher consciousness
Now,
levels.
I may be working myself out of a job, but sometimes the best news in any church I've been to
Yeah.
is when a layperson's getting up and just saying, my life has been changed as a result of what I'm doing. Not from the pastor who's giving you theory,
Right.
but this is the direct implementation of the theory, and now I've gotten a greater capacity to know the infinite presence of light and love in my life.
Thank you,
in my
everyone,
heart.
for your
Yes.
contribution.
Testify. If
Right.
God's working in your life, don't ask, are you allowed to tell it?
Yeah.
Realign. It's there because it is a story that needs to be told, a gospel that needs to be preached.
It's the art of the start. We're giving you permission.
Yes. Ignition.
Okay.
Start the car.
And it's a little bit of friction.
Sure.
Okay, of course you're going to have friction within yourself. Like you always love to say, Rev.
No, I'm not a mechanic, but
starts
the car does
inside.
not start without a little bit of friction.
This is the way it goes. It's right from the key.
Yeah.
I like that. I used to think of the tires a lot, but even the key
no,
needs a
that
little
spark gets
you know?
things going, and now the journey begins.
There it is. I love that.
But you got to have the friction to start it.
I love that, man. Thank you. Okay, there's an aha moment that we can all give each other. But go through church history and realize that people like Calvin, Augustine, Luther, Knox, whether you agree with the conclusions that they made, the aha moments that they got, we're not talking about that here. We're not judging any of those perspectives, but they changed. Those perspectives were new. Right. Now you can say they were built on some old church thought and old church
Well, and that's
ideas.
okay. You're
Yeah.
building on something. It's
Right.
building blocks. It's not tearing anything down. It's challenging old thoughts, but it's sequential, and it's not a bad thing.
No,
But it is
not
a
at
bad
all.
thing if you just stay on the building blocks and never put a roof on the house.
Well, yeah.
There's more that wants to be uncovered.
Well, it's a good point you made. You don't necessarily say that was bad, but at the same time, I'm looking at it now as a bit misguided, as a bit mistaken. You know,
Espouse you, and you said
know.
the word agreement. I'm not.
Yeah.
These people did not. Maybe they did. I don't know. I don't espouse a new thought or a new idea or a new way with the idea that everyone's going to agree with me. Sometimes it's causing the friction. I'm going to put a new idea out there because I want to live into the co-creative process of a little bit of friction. I don't need you to agree with me, but I need you to be willing to discuss in that moment of friction to maybe there's a greater truth that will emerge for both of us.
For both of I was just going to say that for both of you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All of us.
It's things like, I'm going to pick a couple of typical today Christian theology and doctrine. One of the main ones is the atonement. And we played the Rob Bell thing last week. But really all I want to say, I don't want to delve deep into that whole deal except to say that today's perspective of penal atonement was not always the deal in the church. And I don't mean, the people in the first century to the second century were in disagreement about this. No, I'm talking about 1800s. I'm talking this whole idea, a lot of these today theologies, the inerrancy of the Bible. Now, you can go back to Scripture and say, there's a quote that says, all Scripture is God-breathed and useful for teaching and correcting. True. But what Scripture was that when they said that? It was the Older Testament. I keep forgetting.
The Older Testament.
The Older Testament. Right. And so it wasn't even today, and so we carry that forward. And I'm not saying there's not, I believe there's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah.
But the minute you throw the mantle that says God said it through these people, now it becomes inerrant. Now it can't be. And all of a sudden, all of that stuff, and we're going to talk about the Bible in another episode. All I'm saying is this, that if you want to step out and still consider yourself, quote, a Christian, you can. Because you don't.
I do. I still use that moniker depending on your definition. It fits for me.
Okay. There it is. I follow Jesus. Yeah. I do. I covet that. I think he was amazing. But I don't, in my Christianity, I don't have to come to the atonement deal or one way or the highway. You can still love people and love Jesus and ascribe to him and what he taught. And I'm going to call myself a Christian.
Yeah. I am grateful for the Christ essence, principle, and consciousness that Jesus pointed me towards.
Exactly.
Not atonement, but at one-ment. At one-ment. It was the awareness that I am one with that which I am seeking, not because I'm going to be punished or I'm going to be cursed. Right. No, because I'm already one with that energy. And Jesus pointed me to that Christ essence and that Christ principle. And I think that's a great remembrance that is very challenging to those who were on the plateau and who have put up a tent. But I believe honoring Jesus is absolutely to look at where he was pointing.
Wow.
And again, I'm on the edge of blasphemy here. Well, he was the finger pointing to the truth.
Yeah.
Just as all great masters and teachers were. He happens to be my favorite.
I think that's the essence of Jesus' message. I'm showing you what you can do too.
And I think that's the role of every pastor today in every Christian church.
Yeah.
I am but a finger and an ambassador, an emissary to point you to the truth of your own being. Don't just accept blindly my truth, but think, explore, adventure into the mystery of your own soul, and you'll find exactly the truth for yourself. It's got way more meaning and longevity if you find it as opposed to just blindly accepting me telling you it's true.
You own it then. Then it's yours. And sometimes we get to thinking that it needs to be totally different. In other words, if we're going to have a discussion and I'm going to the other side, then it's not anything like it used to be. And if it is, then I'm doing something wrong. Wait a minute here. I still haven't shed everything that I need to in order to think that I'm going to the other side. And again, that's not true. Think about, I have a picture that we're going to use for the episode, and it's a picture of a log going across a stream. All right? Now, I'm on this side, I'm going to the other side. Now, first of all, does the other side look all that much different than when I'm over here? Is it still got trees? Is it still got greenery? Is it still got bushes? Is it still got animals? Is it still... Yes, it does. But I got to be willing to walk over that log, face falling off the log. The beauty is if you're going over the stream, you're not going to get killed. You're going to get a little wet, all right? Okay, climb back up on there and finish your journey. But then what you're going to see once those that go down that path and part the bushes, now it looks different. You're in a different environment. You're just...
Well, and not only is it a little different environment, but it is, you have different eyes. You're seeing differently. You're feeling differently. So I think I like to live in a both and reality, not an either or. Yeah. This shore or that shore. There's a little bit of the similarity and there's a little bit that's different. But I never know that unless I have the eyes and the heart to cross to the other side and go, wow. I'm a little closer to Eden perhaps. There's vegetation over here I didn't know existed.
Something else too that just came to me. And that's what, and I'm sure we've all done this, or hopefully everybody could go hiking and you walk over the log, whatever it might be. It's stepping stones across, it doesn't matter.
My favorite thing to do.
When you've done that, when you've navigated it, you're talking about a different perspective, right? As you go across. The journey, even just across that log, gives you a sense that I overcame my fear. Wow, I can do it. Man, that makes me feel, whoa, okay, I thought I was going to fall. I really didn't want to do it. It started to shake, but I made it. And in itself, there's joy.
I love the picture you're drawing. I usually have done that together. It's a little treacherous on this log, but when we do it together, we join hands and we link across. And I've walked kids across those logs and put them aside. We're all working together, and we wouldn't have done it individually. Right. We have to do it together. But what I love is when you're on the other side, you look back at the shore you were on, you see things you missed.
That's true.
There's the both and reality. I'm looking back at that shore. Oh my gosh, there's a beautiful redwood up there I didn't even see when I was on that side.
It's a journey that evolves without a doubt. And I also have been hiking and doing those kinds of things where somebody that came before me put a rope up.
Thank you.
And so now I'm navigating that with some assistance as well. So it's not quite as treacherous. Doesn't mean I still can't fall.
And then there are the people, and this is maybe stretching the metaphor a little bit. Somebody put that rope up so it would be easier for me to explore the edge. And then somebody comes along and says, well, this rope doesn't belong here, and they cut it down. We've not only limited our own ability to evolve the next person and the next person also.
Yeah.
Leave the ropes up there. Somebody might have put it here for a divine reason. So when it comes to religion and ideas being espoused, it might be a rope just to consider. You can always walk back, but it's a safer journey back and forth because I put that rope up there. I put the idea out there. Don't cut it down.
That's interesting. Well, here's the thing, too. You still have the choice to not use it.
Yeah.
Just walk across. Get a different sense of satisfaction that you needed at that moment to cross unaided. Maybe that's what you needed at that point in time.
But isn't choice a wonderful thing? I have options in my life, and I believe that's God on earth. It's the universe. Yeah. This is grace. Yeah. I can choose to go across. I can choose to go across and use the rope or not use the rope. I can choose to stay on the side I'm on and have a conversation with you across the river. Great, that's your choice.
Right.
I'm just saying there might be a new choice, a new idea, a new thought that is calling you on the other side that you would miss. You always have the choice to go back. You go over there and go, not for me, and then walk back.
True. Here's what you're stimulating me. We love these kinds of conversations because we can prep all we want.
I can beat a metaphor to death.
We can prep all we want too, but we get all these new ideas. So here's what also came to me. All right, I went across. You have some trepidation. You're not sure you want to go to the other side. All right. I go to the other side. I go into the bushes. I disappear for a while. I come back and I'm going to tell you, you wouldn't believe. You know what I saw? You know what happened? You know what's going on? Now, you can hear that and you can listen to me tell you.
I can if my ears are open. If I've labeled you as bad, as wrong, I don't listen to you anymore. I cannot hear what you've touched.
Well, that's true. You shut me off, but even if you hear me, you aren't experiencing it.
No, it's secondhand experience.
It's me telling you, but believe me, until you go across that log and experience the smell, the whatever, the temperature, the view, it's going to be like looking at a book. It's going to be like looking at a picture.
So is evolution for the courageous? Otherwise, it's secondhand religion. My minister said it. That's good enough for me. I've never experienced this he's talking about. I've never experienced this Christ or this oneness or at one-ment that he's talking about. Yeah. Go have the experience. But that means evolution requires risk.
And it's never matured.
Yeah.
Right? You talk about this all the time, that we have a child's faith that got imparted to us, which is, I'm not taking away from that. They're great foundations. Yep. But a lot of people have never moved into a mature, I'm owning this now for the different reasons than somebody just telling me it.
I love that this is the teaching of the Buddha.
Yeah.
It's like, don't take my word for it. The Dalai Lama will tell you today, don't take my word for it. Yeah. Here's an idea. Go try it on for size. Go have the direct experience. And I believe that's the evolution of all religions, let alone Christianity. Yeah. That we're being called to a direct experience of what Jesus was teaching.
Yes.
A direct experience of the mystical aspects of the Bible and of a first-hand account of God, not what somebody told me about God.
There's the friction. Be careful. Here's another caution. Be careful who or what you've put your faith in.
Oh, okay.
And that can change over time. Hey, the faith that I had there was what I needed in that part of my journey, and it worked well. Now, sometimes it gets bashed. Sometimes it gets totally just turned upside down. You thought one thing, but once you went further, maybe to the other side, you have to look back and go, oh my gosh, that might have even been harmful for me, right? Okay, but now I'm looking in on, do we evaluate, do we analyze, do we even question what we're putting our faith in
does
now?
our faith encourage
Right
the
now.
analyzation, the thinking, the stretching, the exploring?
Right.
And I would be so bold to say that if you're in a faith that does not welcome your questioning, you're in a stagnant faith.
Well, yes, and evaluate, at least just even before even evaluate, ask the question, is this person, this entity, this God, this faith, put it all in a blank. Is it worthy, quote, is it worthy of me placing my trust and my faith in that so that I can raise to a higher consciousness, I can be more effective. In other words, it's not holding me back from being able, as you've been saying all along.
It's the alignment.
Yeah.
Am I aligned with my soul and my soul's desire and intention and unification, or is it just waiting for someone to tell me I have permission? I'm allowed to do it.
Well, there it is. As we close out this episode, we're going to say what we said in the beginning. You just said it. I'm going to reiterate it. We're giving you a permission. All right? You have our permission. All right? Yeah, we're blessing that. Again, you don't need it, but if that's what you really need right now, you got it.
Yep.
Right? And a lot of times we do because we don't realize it's inside of us, and so we'll evolve to that place. But understand that, first of all, wherever you're at, in your Christianity in particular, because that's just what we're talking about, it's a lot of little different flavors. You can get a lot of little different ice cream cones with a lot of little different flavors on Christianity. You can find the one that fits for you, and it's not running outside the lines. Well, let me put it this way. You're not on the slippery slope. You're on firm foundation, quite frankly, all right? And don't be lured. Don't be falsely. And again, what we're talking about, I've had it thrown back in my face as that's blasphemous, that's false teaching.
Sure, because we're supposed to only have vanilla ice cream.
Right.
What are you doing with the strawberries? With chocolate? No.
Yeah.
Vanilla's all we do here.
Bad, yeah. And not only is it all we do here, but that's all God said we need to do.
Exactly. God wants us to live in a vanilla world.
We're vanilla people, all right? So, all right. Lastly, we're going to encourage you, go to the nearest ice cream parlor and just try a different flavor. Go to the other side. Does that make sense? Can we do that?
Get some Neapolitan.
All right, man, thanks. This theme for this year about going to the other side and what that looks like and how that changes lives, I'm so excited about what's coming, and we're going to just develop it, flesh it out.
And don't take our word for it.
Well, that's
Cross
right.
the log, there's a little road for you.
Yeah, that's right. Go there. Go to the other side. All right. We'll be back next week. Thanks a bunch, Rev. All
you,
good stuff,
Mac.
man. All right. Take care.